well, I guess we can keep hoping. Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome to another review, and this time I am taking a look at the Assassin's Creed movie, the next attempt to make a quality video game to movie adaptation. Yeah, like my intro would suggest, they failed, but I was really hopeful for this one. I really was, because I am a huge fan of the Assassin's Creed games, especially Brotherhood. Brotherhood is probably easily my favorite Assassin's Creed game, but one of my favorite games of all time. It might even be my favorite game of that year that I'm pretty sure it came out 2010. It's my favorite game of 2010 that isn't called Red Dead Redemption or Mass Effect 2. It's like, it's in there. It really isn't like my top 5 favorite games of that year, and one of my favorite games of all time. I love Brotherhood, and I love 2, and I even really like Assassin's Creed Revelation, or the Revelations. If it's plural or not, I don't know. I think it's plural, but I'm not completely sure. And Black Flag I really liked, and even Syndicate, for what I played, I didn't beat it. I enjoyed it, but at that point I was getting a little sick and tired of playing an Assassin's Creed game every year. They were just very similar, and I was just getting tired of them. And this movie, I was hoping would not only be a good video game movie, but it would also make me really want to play the Assassin's Creed games again. Like, yeah, Assassin's Creed. I love it, going sneaking around, stabbing people with my hidden blades, you know, charming characters, a plot that sure is a little silly, but still entertaining and, you know, intriguing for the most part. I was hoping for that. Nope. No, we didn't get it. We didn't get it. But I am not going to sit here and tell you what I saw was a terrible and unpleasant film experience. Was it a bad movie? For the most part, it wasn't good, but I wouldn't say it was bad, really. It was just, it was okay. I am a big fan of Assassin's Creed, so I know when they talk about stuff like the Apple of Eden, or when they're talking about the Animus and it can travel back in time, kinda, where you can remember the things that your great ancestor has done and stuff, and the Templars want the Apple of Eden. It's this thing that can control people's will and stuff. I know all this stuff already because I played the games, but I had to really distance myself from the games because this is a movie. This movie isn't just made for the fans. It's made for everybody to come in and watch, and of course it wants to make money so it can make other movies and have a franchise, which I can already tell you that ain't gonna happen. But I don't know. With a budget like this, it's like a $125 million budget. This movie's like making $20 million this weekend. I don't think it's gonna do well. But I could see people still enjoying it if you are a fan of the games. But if you're just a regular moviegoer, this movie explains nothing. It really doesn't. Like, the Animus is just like, it can go back in time, whatever, genetics, stuff like that, you know, whatever, it doesn't matter. The Apple of Eden controls people's will. Why? Doesn't really matter. To be fair, the games don't really explain it that well either, but at least the games has this mystery, and you know there's going to be another game. This, it doesn't even really set up for a sequel. It kind of closes it off where it's just like, yeah, it's like another part of the Assassin's Creed story, and you could kind of fit this game in any part of the Assassin's Creed legacy or series, I guess. You could fit this in between 1 or 2, or 2 or 3, or 3 or 4. Really doesn't matter. It could be anywhere in the series. It could even just be its own thing, which I'm sure that's probably what it is. Even though Jeremy Irons' character is actually a character from the first Assassin's Creed game, and I think his character is the only one that's an actual character from the game. There is another character that is mentioned, but you don't see that character. But anyway, the point is that if you are just a regular person, you're like, Assassin's Creed, that looks kind of cool. You know, I like the costumes, I like all the stabbing, the parkour and stuff. If you're a big parkour guy and you just don't play Assassin's Creed, you're just like, yeah, I want to see this. You will be confused. You will have no idea what's going on, and you will think this movie's pretty fucking insane and just ridiculous. Okay, it's not The Matrix where they actually explain the Matrix and all that stuff, and you can kind of get with it. This movie's just like, like first 10 minutes, you're already in the Animus, and you have no idea what the hell's going on. You're back in time now with Caleb Lynch, played by Michael Fassbender. You're just like, okay, I guess I'm here now. But really, a bad story and a bad, like, setup and not explaining things and stuff like that really isn't terrible if the characters are really likable. And it's not that Michael Fassbender and Marion Cotillard and even Jeremy Irons are bad in this. They try, especially Michael Fassbender. You could tell he's really trying to make a charismatic lead. But they don't focus on any of these characters enough for you to even know who they are. Like, Michael Fassbender's character, all you know is that he had a troubled childhood and he's he's reckless, I guess. That's really it. You don't know anything else about him. You don't even know if he had a job or whatever. You don't know anything about him. He's just a guy who did some bad stuff. He was about to be executed, and then Abstergo, Templars, decided to take him and use him because he has some sort of relationship to an assassin from the late 1400s that lived in Spain that knew where the Apple of Eden was. That's why they take him. And that's really all you know about him. And you know next to nothing about Aguilar, his assassin, ancestor. You know nothing about him. He's an assassin. What's his relationship? He has a girl that he kind of likes. One of the assassins he kind of likes. You don't know anything else about him. Ezio, you know so much about him. He's charming, witty, badass. He's a ladies' man. You really like this guy. He's charismatic. He is funny. He's got that Italian panache, okay? He's great. This guy, Aguilar, Aquamarine, whatever his name is, this is what he does. He stares, and then he runs, and he stabs. That's it. And he stabs some people with no blood whatsoever. There's no blood in this movie. It's PG-13. They could totally still have a little bit of blood in there, but people's throat gets slit, and you don't even see blood. So yeah, this is a very bloodless, very drab, very dusty-looking movie. I know it's set in like late 1400s Spain, but Jesus, like at least put a little bit of color in there. I mean, for the most part, the set design and even the special effects look really good, even though some of them look a little goofy. Most of them look pretty damn good. You could tell the budget went to the effects and even some of the costume design stuff. They actually did put some work in here. And even the action scenes during these assassin sequences when the Animus is doing its thing, it's really fun for the most part. The parkour is great. The filming is, for the most part, really good. The camera follows the action well, especially when they're running. I could tell what's going on. Some of the action is a little choppily edited, I would say. Like, there's just times where someone's about to stab someone and then it cuts, and then it cuts back to him stabbing, but it's like a close-up and stuff. It reminded me of like Taken 3 at times. Not that bad, but you know, like where they had like 25 cuts for just Liam Neeson jumping up on a fence. Like, there was a couple times where just doing this had to require like 3 cuts for them for some reason. I don't know. It was weird. So yeah, the action is very well filmed for the most part. The special effects are really good. Everybody does a decent job, especially Michael Fassbender. He really does try. There's a couple moments where he does something where I'm like, he's kind of charming and likable. Except it's just Michael Fassbender being charming and likable, not really the character being charming and likable. You don't really know this character. You don't know any of the characters. So I can't go like, yeah, Caleb Lynch, he's cool. He's the hero that I've always wanted. I'll just be like, Michael Fassbender. You know, there's a part where he pretends he's insane. And it's funny because Michael Fassbender is a good actor. He's a great actor. And he definitely tries, and he does a great job here for what he had to do. You know, what material he had. But overall, it is a sloppy movie. There's some bad editing here and there. It's nonsensical. Even if you're a fan, you can tell, like, yeah, the way they do this is just not well done for the most part. Like, the story I'm talking about. Especially in the beginning, like, shit, this movie has a title crawl. Even the new Star Wars didn't have a title crawl. And Star Wars is known for its title crawls. The new one didn't even have one. This movie does. And it's the most boring, no music in the background, just bland-ass text on a black background, just text scrolling up, just talking about the Animus and the Apple of Eden and Assassins and Templars and shit. Everything you know, everything you could have easily been told by a character or just learned along the way from good screenwriting and stuff. You don't get that. So overall, the writing isn't great. There's a couple of funny little scenes with some of the characters, but most of the characters aren't really likable. Mostly because you don't know them, so you can't really like characters you don't know. The action is good. The special effects are nice. But it is a mixed bag. It's totally a mixed bag. But I think some of the positives outweigh the negatives in a way where I can't just give it like a straight up 5 out of 10 or a 20 out of 40. I'm going to give it a 20. I'm going to give it 24 out of 40, but that's like a 6 out of 10. I think it deserves that. It has some good action. It has some great moments. A lot of fan service. If you're a big fan of the games, you will leave this theater going, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't Dragon Ball Evolution, you know. I know that's not a video game movie, but, you know, it's an adaptation of something that's beloved. So it's not crushing your dreams. It's not The Last Airbender. That's a better example, especially considering budget, and also considering Dragon Ball Evolution's fucking hilarious. Watch that with a bunch of friends. Hilarious movie. Fucking ridiculous. Really terrible, awful. Especially the last 10 minutes. But yeah, this movie is just it's fun. There's some goofy moments, especially that second leap of faith. If you've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. Just that second leap of faith. It's actually in the last trailer, like the final 10 seconds of the last trailer. It's so goofy looking. I don't know. But anyway, overall, I give it a 24 out of 40. It's a decent movie. Go check it out if you're a big fan. And if you have nothing else to check out because you don't want to see Sing or Passengers or any other shit movies that are out, or if you just don't want to see Rogue One again, go check it out. I'm sure it's better than some of the big budget movies that are coming out recently. Or just go check out La La Land or Manchester by the Sea or Moonlight or Fences or any of the other movies that are supposedly amazing. Yeah, maybe you should just skip this. Just skip it. Go see those movies.